Hi, welcome to episode 185 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which is where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarns. And we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. If you haven't come and joined us, please do. Hi, how are you? I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend. It is Sunday, July 3rd, and it has been an absolutely beautiful weekend here. It has been in the high 70s, low 80s, and breezy and beautiful. We had a little bit of rain yesterday morning, but other than that, it has been just gorgeous. My favorite summer weather. Not normal for here. Usually it's warmer and more humid, but it has been just lovely. Yesterday, I mostly hung around the house in the morning, and then in the evening we went to a barbecue at a friend of my husband's, which was very nice. And then today we are kind of hanging out and getting chores done and working on some projects. And then this afternoon I will go to yoga again. I really enjoyed it last week, so I figured I'd go back this week. I don't have a ton of progress to show you this week, but I have some, and I have a new project that I'm getting ready to cast on for, so let's get started. I made iced tea again today. I am going through my various teas and making them iced in my pitcher. This one is from Tea Runners. It's called Golden Monkey. It is a black tea with smooth notes of peach. It is from China. And it looks like this. Sometimes Tea Runners is a subscription box that you can get every month or every other month, and they have some really great teas, and I actually have sort of suspended mine for a little while, but I'll probably go back to it eventually. I just ended up with so many, and this, sometimes they sell the extras online in their shop, so you can check if you're interested. It is grown in the high altitudes in the misty mountains of Yunnan, China, comes this fine black tea with smooth notes of honeyed peach. For 1700 years, this rare tea was enjoyed only by China's elite ruling class. They believed it gave them special powers of agility and sexual prowess. Today, Golden Monkey is a frequent finalist on awards lists from around the world and is considered one of the finest black teas there is. So I just brewed that in my iced tea pitcher, and I am drinking it in my Llama Love cup, which I got when I was in Chicago at the dollar store. Ooh, that is nice. That's very nice. I looked for some fruit to combine with it, but I didn't find anything that I really wanted to, so it's just straight black tea this week. But that is delicious. So let's get started. The knits that I'm working on. Let's talk about what I showed you last week. I showed you I had started a pair of socks by Northbound Knitting, or I had started a pair of socks in Northbound Knitting yarns. I got a little more progress today. In the last couple days, I put on my heel flap and I finished my gusset, and now I'm working on my foot. This is a Northbound Knitting sock yarn, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. The speckled part is called oleander. No, the speckled one is called Rumpus, and the pink is called Oleander, and I have enough to do pink toes as well. And I am just loving knitting this one. This is one of those just one more row to see a little bit more of the lovely speckled yarns. So hopefully I will have a finished sock by the time we talk next. My plan is to knit a pair of socks for me out of this glorious yarn, and then knit a pair of socks for my mini-me. So I will be working on this yarn probably for the rest of the month, if I figure in the one for me and the one for mini-me. So I hope to finish this one this week. So that is project 1 on the needles. Project 2 on the needles I showed you last week is some yarn that I am using for review. And that is, let's see which one's attached right now, not that one. This is Appalachian Baby Designs. It is organic cotton, and I had 3 colors. I noticed they actually did come out okay in the video. This is the silver one. It's U.S. organic cotton, sport weight with earth-friendly dyes, and each skein has 194 yards. This one is the silver, And then I also have pink and a natural. And I decided to do a sweet tank kind of summer sundress for my niece, Roxy. The pattern is Zippy, and it is by, hang on, I have my phone so I can tell you, Valerie Morris. And it is a really sweet chevron dress. You'll be able to see the parts of it. Forgive all the ends hanging out. I have some weaving in of ends to do, but this is the start of the dress. So you start at the top and you do sort of the casing for a ribbon that's going to hold the top together. So you knit the front and back separately, and then you join them in the round, and then you start with the chevron patterning. So as you can see, a whole bunch of people have told me it looks like Neapolitan ice cream. It actually kind of does, and I am very pleased with it. I would say I'm maybe between a third and a halfway done with the knitting, probably a third. I have one more set of increases to go, and then it will just be a knit down to the hem in these 8-row stripes of the colors. So, and this is coming out just like I wanted it to. And I am hoping to finish it this week. This is a project that I'm going to put a lot of time on in this week because I would like to send it off to my niece fairly shortly so that she can get some wear out of it while it's still summer. So as it turns out, I am not spot on gauge. I didn't do a gauge swatch. Yep, that's my fault. And I started on the needle size that it suggested, but ended up going down a needle size. So I have to take a look at it. I'm knitting the size 3 to 4 with the full body. This pattern has a lot of options. It goes everywhere from 6 to 12 months to up to I think 10 years. And so I started out thinking I'd knit the 5 to 6, but that came out looking huge. So I'm knitting the 3 to 4, and hopefully it will fit her well. And then there are options on doing like a slim body or a more full body and a couple different kinds of hems. So I'm making it as full as I can, hoping that she will get maybe a dress out of it this year. And if I'm lucky, maybe a tunic next year. If not, I'll just knit her another one. But the 5-6 looked so big and I just didn't want her to not get to wear it. So, because there's nothing worse than somebody sending you something, especially when you're a kid, and then mom being like, well, this won't fit you this year. You'll have to wait till next year. That just doesn't seem like much of a gift. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with this. And like I said, I hope to finish it next week. I'm going to stop by Joann's this week and pick up a ribbon. I'm thinking either something silvery or something white. Probably just get a grosgrain ribbon to kind of put this together for her. So that is where I'm at with that. So far, I really like the yarn. The cotton's super soft. I hope it will soften up even a little bit more with some washing. I do plan to wash it before I send it out. As usual, knitting with cotton is hard on the hands because cotton doesn't have a ton of give. The way wool does, it just doesn't have a lot of springiness to it. But I will say that this is very nice cotton and it is super soft. I really think the finished object will be lovely and it will be a great summer dress for her. So I will talk about that more next week when I finish. And something kind of funny happened when they sent me this yarn. They sent me multiples, so there will be one for a giveaway. So stay tuned next week and I'll talk about the giveaway. And you too could win this set. So that is the second thing that I'm working on. And had to start this and rip it out a couple times this week, so that's why there isn't more progress. I had been hoping for a little bit more, but I'm going to sit and work on it this evening. The third project that I plan to start this week is we are going to be attending a birthday party for a 1-year-old friend of ours, or friends of ours have a 1-year-old, and I wanted to make him a little something. I didn't want to do anything super big, but I just thought I would make a toy, and I found this really cute whale pattern. It's called Wasabi by Susan Claudino. It is super, super cute, and it calls for about a half a skein of worsted weight. I think it said like, well, it said 40 grams of worsted weight. And so I bought, I actually want to make 2 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of them for a friend's little boy, and I'm going to make one of them for Miles, because I hate sending one kid a present without the other. I know, it's silly. But so I'm sending Roxy the dress, so I wanted to send a little something for Miles. And I got a skein of Dream in Color Classy in the colorway Bedtime. It is this great, like, dark blue, and it's like a semi-solid, so there's a little bit of color variation in it. I love Dream in Color Classy yarns. And this is a little more expensive than I would usually spend for a toy, but I'll get 2 toys out of it. So I decided to just go ahead and do it because it was the color I was seeing in my mind. And I already have safety eyes, and then I just need to get a little bit of felt, and I'll do that when I go get the ribbon. And so this week I hope to make one of the whales so I can show you, and then maybe the following week make the other one, and then get these out in the mail. So that is Wasabi, and that is going to be what's on my needles this week. So, that's it for the knits. I still do have the secret knit going, and I'm making progress on that. Of course, that's why I'm not making as much progress on everything else, but I'm continuing to work through my projects. And so let's take a sip of tea and move on to spinning. This week, I finally got back into spinning, and I spun a whole skein of yarn. It was so very exciting. I spun that braid of pastels that I showed you last week into, it was called Candy Store, and it was by Busy Bee Fibers. And I spun to try and get thicker yarn, and I'm waiting for it to plump up, but I'm pretty sure I did because I got far less yardage than I usually do. This skein is probably about, probably between 2 and 250 yards, so that is quite a bit thicker than I usually spin. It may get me more DK weight than worsted weight, but I was going for something thicker, and it's still got it's pretty pastel-y. I mean, someone said to me it's going to be like an Easter bunny, and it probably is, kind of, because the colors do wash out a little bit. It had some strong pink in it, but I still think it will be a sweet bunny. So I am going to wash that and wind that up, and that will be another cast on over the summer, possibly not in the next couple weeks. Little brother is due in the fall, in September, so I need to work on these for September, but I have a little time before then. So, and I will also be doing, the bunny is for big sister, who will be like 2.5, and I have a little sweater, a tin can knit sweater that I'm going to do for brother. So I'll show you when I cast those on. My guess is this is going to be a July project. I'll probably work on it on the side when I'm not doing Tour de France. So that is that one done. For this week, I pulled a braid out of the stash. This is a South African wool. It is called South American wool blend top, and it is, I would say, medium soft, not super soft, not super rough, and this is in the Struck Blind colorway. It is by Hello Yarn, and this one will be for the shop. I am such a sucker for these oranges, and then the like plummy kind of purple burgundy-ish colors with little bits of that scummy green and white. They're really good fall colors. Anyway, so I am going to spin this one up this week, and like I said, this one will be destined for the shop. So if it's something that interests you, keep an eye out. And that's it. This is only, I feel weird, it's only 12 minutes in. I will say a quick note, if you are interested in spinning along with us, I have set up a Tour de Fleece team. Tour de Fleece runs concurrently with the Tour de France, which runs July 7th through July 29th. My group is always super laid back. I want anyone who wants to participate to be able to participate. It doesn't matter what fiber you use. It doesn't matter how you spin it. Wheel, charka, spindle, whatever. And your goal for Tour de Fleece is your own goal. Sure, there are going to be people who are going to do mountains and mountains of fiber, but you set out a goal for yourself. So if your goal is to spin for 5 minutes a day, or finish and ply your first braid, or learn how to spin, whatever you want your goal to be, you should do that, and you should join us. My team, you can triple, double dip, join as many teams as you want. There will be prizes. The only real rule for me is you have to be a member of the group to earn prizes. So join the group, click the join button, And there will be a chatter thread where I will draw prizes for random number generator, for using the random number generator throughout the tour. And then at the end of the tour, I will have a final thread for everybody to post their finished spins, and then I will draw a couple more prizes from there. Usually I end up giving away between 5 and 6 bags of fiber during the tour. It's from my own stash. Usually some of it's Hello Yarn. So if you are interested in participating, come over, let us know. Participate in the group as much or as little as you want. The hashtag is Team CKT 2018 for Team Corner of Knit and Tea 2018. We are officially registered with the Tour de Fleece group on Ravelry. And my favorite thing to do is to sit and actually watch the recaps of the tour in the evening, the Tour de France, and spin along, but that is up to you whether you choose to partake of that or just enjoy the spinning. So that is what's coming up. I am going to let you get back to your weekend. I hope that wherever you are, your weekend is beautiful and you're enjoying it. And I'm going to go and work on that dress a little bit more and maybe start a new spin and work on having plenty of things to show you for next week. So I will say, as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!